Alright, what's up guys, Average Gamer signing on, back with another video. It has been a while since we talked about fighting games, so let's go ahead and correct that mistake, as you guys seem to like it whenever I talk about them. So before we get into it, be sure to like and subscribe. We just passed 300 subs, I should say. Thank you guys so much for the support. As always, you guys have been fantastic. Thank you so much for watching my videos. Thank you so much for all your comments. And of course, liking as well. We're on our way to the big 400, so hopefully some of y'all can come along this content journey with me. So, back to the conversation at hand, no doubt about it. This is the time to be alive if you're a fighting game fan. We got a new Street Fighter, a new Tekken, a new Mortal Kombat, although everyone seems to hate that. We got a new MVC collection on the way, releasing this year. Maximilian Dude, the GOAT, the legend, he's modding MVCI with this big team, so we have that to wait for. I think it's coming out this year as well. Anime games are still going strong. We're getting more info on new games like City of the Wolves, 2XKO, I think still is in this alpha phase. And we just had a fantastic Evo like a month back, so things are great. So with all this good food at the table, I actually want to talk about something kind of interesting that I kind of randomly thought about while playing some Tekken 8. A fighting game guilty pleasure, if you will. That is not really prevalent in games nowadays, but especially as a kid, I always enjoyed it. So, in modern times, which is, 2024, fighting games have taken more of a focus on the single player experience. We got story modes, customizable character stuff, tons of collectibles, things of that nature. This has aided greatly not only in improving the overall product of fighting games as a genre, but also has increased the casual appeal to them. However, despite this shift being relatively new, particularly when it came to console versions of fighting games back in the day, there was one form of single player content that these modern games kind of went away from, and for me, it still might be my favorite type of single player content in fighting games, and that is unlocking characters. One of my absolute favorite pastimes. It was so gratifying for me growing up getting a new character to try out after beating the arcade mode or like a challenge or something like that. The last game I know that did this was actually Smash Ultimate, which makes sense. That game has a massive casual audience, and I got some good hours getting all those characters. Now don't get me wrong, with the rise in competitive play among other things, it's not the most practical thing in the world anymore, but I always loved it and would not mind it coming back. When I first got Tekken 2 on the PS1, which was actually the first fighting game I ever played, you had this really basic character select screen, and each time you completed the arcade mode with a character, you would have their rival fight, and if you beat it, you would unlock that character. And when you unlocked everyone in the game, the character select screen would entirely change to show off the efforts of your work, and I gotta say, this got me hype as a kid. It ain't the most exciting thing in the world, don't get me wrong, but something about seeing all the characters at once and not having to scroll off screen to the depths of hell just to pick Bruce Irving was all I needed as a kid. Now, I mentioned the Marvel vs. Capcom collection we're getting later this year, and I actually had a very similar experience with Marvel 2, one of my favorite fighting games ever. I had the console version of it, more specifically the PS2 version, which sucks, but I still had a bunch of fun with it because you got points from playing the game, and you used those points to unlock characters in this shop thing that they had. Granted, this one was more tedious, A, because they had more characters, and B, because the shop hosted many things besides characters, and I had to allocate my points, which was lame, but I did it, and that's what matters, okay? I think this was a pretty decent way to encourage players to learn and try a variety of different team comps and characters, and reward them for doing so. Although, admittedly, playing the same dumb arcade final boss as a kid made me want to go for a ride. Off of a damn cliff. Now, could something like this come back? Probably not. As I mentioned before, with the rise of competitive play and online play in general, it isn't all that realistic anymore and would overall be seen as a nuisance more than anything. So the adjustments towards collectibles like art, skins, and whatnot, in conjunction with story modes and the like, are probably the best way forward for ensuring single player content in fighting games, but I am proudly guilty of loving what we had before. Okay, I don't like being an old head for very long, so we're going to stop here. But let me know what your fighting game guilty pleasure is in the comments below, and also what are your thoughts on the current state of fighting games in general at the moment. As always, be sure to like and subscribe, it helps me out a ton, and of course, thank you for watching. This is The Average Gamer, signing off. I'll catch y'all next time.